We're back in DeWitt for Local 4 News over coffee. It has been a challenging year for area farmers as there's been a lot of things that are out of their control. So the question is, what do we do now? What's next? And so, Joe, I want to start with you. How are you moving forward in your farm and your business?
So we've kind of assessed the damage in the crops and in the buildings, and my bin guy was here today. He was working on the bins. We have to take down the destroyed bins safely, hopefully, and I know I'm going to have about 1/3 less yield in corn, and so I have less space too. So we're trying to figure out where we're going to send the grain to. There's lots of farmers that got destroyed bins, lost their dryers, and so they're going to take them to the same place that I'm going to take them to, and so the lines will be longer. There'll be farmers that maybe are a little short of sleep and a little grouchy that they're having to wait in lines, and it's not going to be a typical normal harvest that just clicks right along and we pick it, we dry it, and we put it in a bin. It'll be something different than that.
And how has the claim process been going for you?
So pretty good. I mean, initially the storm hit. We assessed the damage that we had at the building site here first and called up our insurance company. Actually, I called my insurance agent just before the storm hit, sent her a picture of my grain bin, said, this is what it looked like before the storm, and then sent her a picture afterwards. And so she appreciated that. Within 3 hours of the storm, she had already initiated a claim for my property, and then I called up my crop insurance salesman, and he initiated a claim about 24 hours after the storm. So I've talked to adjusters in each property and crops, and well, of course they're swamped. So, but they've gathered the information, and it's a significant loss. So there'll be more than just the once check over on it. There'll be lots of people that have multi-layers of people looking at the claims to make sure they're all up to date and correct.
And dealt with these obstacles. What are you hoping for as harvest season approaches?
Well, my wife and I have, like I said earlier, we're heavily dependent on the consumer coming out, spending the afternoon with us. We've done what we feel like is a pretty good job of giving an opportunity for the consumer to socially distance while being able to get outside, do some fall activities like pick a pumpkin, see some animals, and see some fall entertainment type things. So although it's not as full-blown as we have in the past, we think it's going to be a pretty good time for the consumers.
Mm-hmm. And definitely hoping people come out to the farm. Now, Chris, for the farmers that you're working with, what would you say are some of the things that they would like most, or that would be most helpful for them at this point?
Well, I think right now they just are looking for assistance. You know, Joe's sitting here with the bin blown down, and we'd encourage you to call your local FSA office and let us know what you have for damage or bins that are down. We have a farm facility loan program that he can get a loan for 7 years on 0.5%. So stuff like that we have available for producers. Not every program we have is functions with the derecho, but we do have some available for them.
So assistance is huge for
Yep.
sure. So Craig, you work with people when it comes to that. How can farmers apply for loans and start the process if they haven't already?
They can call into our office and ask for an application. Currently, we have not officially been declared a disaster county, so we're waiting on that. Then we'll be able to offer them low-interest loans. We got other programs that might interest them and be able to get them started, but probably going to have to wait till the crop comes in and really see what the loss is.
Mm-hmm. And for those that are in the process right now, are there helpful things that they should know?
Just be patient with your insurance agent, be patient with us. just be patient overall. There's going to be a lot of stress going through the financial sector in the next 6 months.
And when it comes to that financial sector, John, tell us about maybe things that we can be hopeful for, that we can be excited about moving forward.
Yeah, I think, we saw the big sell-off earlier this year, high 30s percentage-wise with the market drop. A lot of Federal Reserve intervention helped bring things back, we believe, in large part. The economy is back up and running to, a large degree, but there's going to be challenges that continue for quite a while as the pandemic lingers. But I think people could analyze their portfolios too, and if, earlier this year you were stress tested in a way that wasn't comfortable, there are tools and instruments that can be used, tail risk hedges, option strategies that can be utilized. Uncertainty, now that we're back approaching all-time highs mid-late year, there are a number of instruments that if you weren't comfortable with how things played out before, buying and holding and hoping for the best isn't always the best investment strategy long term.
Well, very helpful things to know. And guys, before we go, is there anything maybe you can talk about that would be helpful that comes to your mind?
I'd be happy to say that there's going to be extra stress out here in the countryside with farmers. It's going to be a hard crop to harvest. It's going to be a hard crop to take and store someplace because we have a lot less places to go with our crops this time of year. So if the general public could just give the farmers a little bit of a break. I know they're big equipment and they're slowing you down on the roads, but we're trying to get our things done too, and we're not doing it on purpose. We're just trying to take the harvest in, and if we can get it done safely and have the public out there around us, why, that's the best thing that can happen.
And I think that our viewing audience, one thing that they would love to know really quick, if we could get a close-up on some of the computer that you put on that online. Joe, just quickly, what does that do? Because I think it's a fascinating thing that could do a whole lot of damage, I'm sure. Really quick, that is heavy duty, but tell us a little bit about that before we go.
So we put a reel on the corn head, and the reel will actually, as the broken corn stalks come into the corn head, they kind of bunch up in the front on the snoots, and the reel will paddle the corn stalks back so that it can engage the auger there and actually go into the combine. And then on each end are those yellow roller cones, and so with the corn that's down, it'll start hanging up on each end of the head, and the roller cones bring it up so that those paddles can actually whack it down into the head too.
All right. We are learning a lot being out here, more than just about the pandemic. I am learning a whole lot about rural life. So thank you guys so much for being part of this, and we're going to continue to have you updated. We are the #1 station when it comes to following the pandemic and all of the financial implications when it comes to the drought. And so keep it here on Local 4 News for Local 4 at 5. For now, this has been Local 4 News over coffee. Have a wonderful rest of your evening.